Hey, how's it going guys? Chris here with another Doom weapon guide for you today, and in this one I'll be going over that Chaingun in multiplayer, talking about the pros, cons, general information and all of that sort of stuff. It's not the hardest weapon in the game to get used to, but there are some factors that you should take into account to use it effectively. So the Delta 12 Chaingun is a high velocity minigun type weapon, with 6 rotating barrels, giving it the ability to fire its bullets extremely quickly. In order to fire at maximum speed though, you're gonna have to wait a couple of seconds for that Gatling rotor to spin up fully. Before this time, you'll fire much slower and ultimately kill much more slowly too. This is where the weapon mod comes into play, as the secondary firing mode doesn't actually cause any damage directly, but it spins up that rotating barrel without firing any bullets, allowing you to reach the maximum speed and start shooting those bullets at a much quicker rate as soon as you squeeze that trigger. The Chaingun holds a total of 200 bullets overall, but upon spawning you'll be issued with 125, and because of the fast firing nature of the weapon, you'll probably find yourself running out of bullets quite a lot. So keep hunting for those ammunition crates on your travels, just so you don't get caught out in the middle of a battle. So the Chaingun has some pretty interesting properties, functioning quite differently to other weapons in Doom's multiplayer. It fires at blistering speed, letting you rip through targets with an insane fire rate, and it doesn't require you to be too accurate with your aiming either. Obviously, you're still going to have to aim properly for the gun to do its thing, but unlike other weapons that have an automatic fire mode, like the plasma gun and a heavy assault rifle, the Chaingun doesn't have a specific point in which your bullets are going to travel towards, and instead it's got a rounded crosshair more similar to what the shotguns have. This signifies the general area that your bullets could land, making it less of a precision weapon and more of a pray and spray type of gun. The damage you can deal per bullet has one of the lowest values of the bunch, with each bullet usually dealing 6 damage beyond close range, and a critical hit damage of 9 in close quarters. Though this figure can drop to as low as 1 damage point per bullet at extreme ranges, and combined with its lack of accuracy, this makes the Chaingun almost useless at long distance. The fact that you'll be firing at a super fast rate though, kinda counters the lower damage and accuracy of the weapon, making it perform very well at rapidly sapping away health and armour at closer to medium distances. It might not pack an almighty punch, but it definitely has the power to whittle down health quickly over time. And so long as you can keep your target within that crosshair, you're going to watch those damage numbers fly all over the bloody place. Once the Gatling rotor reaches full spin, in CQC, you can shred through enemies and take out anyone with lower amounts of health ridiculously easily. And much like the Lightning Gun's weapon mod, you can deal sustained damage without having to be very accurate at all. It's not a very high amount of damage, but it's fairly consistent when you're firing at the Chaingun's max speed. With that said, you're going to have to reach that maximum speed first, and holding down the trigger is going to spin the barrel, firing your first few bullets off very slowly. It takes a few seconds to reach full spin, but this could be problematic when running into a guy with a shotgun up close, as you could get blasted away whilst waiting for that barrel to speed up and fire faster. So most of the time, the Chaingun works well when you can predict enemy movements and start to fire at your target as soon as you see them, advancing towards them as you do so, allowing that barrel to spin faster, and then hail them with bullets as you get closer. You move slightly slower when firing the Chaingun, so keep this in mind and be prepared to release the trigger to regain your movement speed back, if you need to get away or when you're surrounded by a gang of enemy players. This reduced movement speed might also make it a bit harder to strafe to get on target too, so firing over long durations is usually more effective against enemies down narrow corridors and spaces that are hard to escape from, as enemies in larger open areas can jump out of the way and even run right past you if you're not careful. The Chaingun's weapon mod allows you to spin that rotating barrel early, without actually firing any bullets, and this is great for getting you up to that maximum fire rate, ready to take on an opponent head on. The main drawback here though is the fact that you'll move a bit slower when walking around the map with the weapon mod in use. This will make you a slower, easier target to hit from behind and side angles, plus you won't be able to hunt down other players quite as effectively, with that small penalty to movement speed. Though being able to spin up the barrel early allows you to ambush players a lot easier, as they run around corners and enter lines of sight. If you can predict your enemy's movements, or want to ready yourself to kill anyone that might be in a room you're just about to walk into, then the weapon mod can be really useful and let you use the Chaingun to its full advantage, unleashing hell as soon as you require a target and start to fire away. You've not only got a faster initial fire rate, but the first few shots are also going to be a tad more accurate too, as your crosshairs won't have expanded like they would if you didn't use the weapon mod. And so, not only will you be able to fire quicker to begin with, but you'll also be more likely to hit your target with more bullets as soon as you start to fire. If you can time the Gatling spin with player movements and use the weapon mod in a smart way, you can usually kill slightly quicker, though it's not always going to be effective, and sometimes you're going to be better off having a slightly quicker movement speed instead. Plus, climbing up to ledges and mantling around the map will stop the weapon mod's spin, so if you're hunting someone down on a higher platform and need to climb up, the weapon mod's going to be pretty pointless, as the spin's just going to get cancelled. Now down to the Chaingun being more of a closer to medium range weapon, designed to deal higher damage values in closer firefights, I'd probably opt for a weapon that can deal with players at longer distances. The Vortex Rifle is a good option, along with the Heavy Assault Rifle and Burst Rifle too. You probably don't need another CQC type weapon to combine with the Chaingun, as it should be able to do the job fine against closer range targets. The Chaingun isn't very effective over longer distances, and you should maybe go for a weapon that can fill this void, allowing you to take on opponents easier further away. Generally, the Chaingun has the ability to destroy nearby targets with ease, rapidly chipping away at health and making you feel like a badass. It's not very accurate, and it doesn't deal massive amounts of damage, but providing you're not too far away, that maximum fire rate should have you covered most of the time. You might have to wait a couple of seconds first to reach that quicker rate of fire, leaving you a bit vulnerable, but once you get there, you'll be mowing down your enemies nice and quickly. Just keep on moving around whilst firing to both get on your target and dodge any projectiles coming your way, and keeping the Chaingun's optimal range up close to both deal more damage and stay more accurate. Anyway, that's just about it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed the guide, hit that like button if you did, and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.